Hello student, welcome to EPG Pathshala. Myself Sanjay Karan, a research scholar at Department of Tourism Management at Indira Gandhi National Travel University, Amarkantak. Today I am going to give presentation on topic travel motivations. After completing these modules, a student will able to know the concept of travel motivation, know the evolution of travel, understand the motivation and its effects on travel and tourism. Introduction. Humans are complex beings and their desire, greed and love for them things make them more complicated. The need for simplification of these behaviors has always been quest in researchers. Motivation study is about acquaintance with behavior and urge of an individual to perform a particular action. Travel behavior is one of them. Travel are onions with many layers of extreme tip of extreme icebergs. Tourism is a people-centric and one of the fastest growing industries. Assessing behavior and motivation of tourists is a clerical task as tourist decisions of a tourist dependence on it. Travel has been a nomadic urge in the human earlier in quest of food. As humanity grows, desire for shelter came into being. And with the rise of civilizations, search for trade bundles with safety and security. The game-changing moments for mass tourism comes with the rise of leisure time. There has always been some forces behind travel or motivations that impulses people for movement from one place to another. In this unit, we will learn to study basic questions why people travel. Is there a single factor that motivates people to travel? Or there are different forces drive tourists to take travel activities? Origin of motives. Motive is an English word of motive. The term motive is originated from the French word motif, which means cause. Motive means desire and wants that drives within an individual. A motive is anything which prompts the persons to act in a certain way or develop inclination for a specific behavior. Motive can be defined as inner state of our mind that activates and directs humans to act. It is an instinct to us and it exhibits our external behavior. The attitude, perception or behavior of persons that drives to an action, whether consciousness or unconscious, is stimulated by influenced, motivated or motives. Types of motives. Motives can be classified in three categories, which will be discussed as follows. Biological motives. Biological motives are also known as psychological motives. These motives are necessary for maintaining balance within the body and survival of a person, such as need for oxygen, sleep, hunger, thirst, pain, etc. Social motives. The specificity of social motive is that it is the only for human beings, whereas psychological motives are for every living human beings or living beings, whether they are human beings or animals, because it is related to a body, and social motives are created through the interactions or learned in the society or social environment. That is why their strength differs from one individual to another, such as achievement, aggression, curiosity, etc. Personal motives. Personal motives can be also termed as individual motives. In spite of having psychological motives and social motives, there is a personal motive is also sustaining within an individual. The common parallels between social and personal motive is that both are for human beings. But the difference is that social motives are generated because of interactions happening in society or influenced by social activities, but personal motives are affected or generated by interest, aspirations, habits, etc. Meaning of motivations. The word motivations has been derived from the word motive, which means desire, needs and wants drives within an individual. Motivations generally gives and reasons to a person for achieving the desired need. Definitions of motivation. Fried-Lutens defined motivation as a process that starts with psychological or physiological deficiency or needs that activates behavior or drives that aimed at a goal or incentives. According to Stephen P. Robbins, Motivation is the willingness to exert a high level of effort toward organizational goal conditioned by effort ability to satisfy some individual's need. In the opinion of Gray and Struck, motivation is the result of process, internal or external to the individuals, that arouses enthusiasm and persistence to pursue a certain course of action. Motivation can also be defined as one's direction to behavior, or what causes a person to want to repeat a behavior or drop a behavior. It can be internal or an external factor that fuel the wish and oomph in an individual to continually interested and committed toward their work, job, roles, subject, or to do any effort to attain a goal. Distinction between motive and motivation. Motive is a reason or logic behind an activity, logical because reasonable things has been always done with certain logic, whereas motivation is willingness, desire to do a particular activity. It does not require any logic or reason. Only desire or willingness to perform a task is important. Motivation and purpose of trip. Motivation and purpose of trip are closely related. UNWTO defines tourism broadly categorized travel purpose as business travel, leisure travel, and miscellaneous travel. It includes travels to visit a friends and relative, health and religious travel. Tourist traveling for above mentioned three purposes are three types of travel motivations. It is important to know needs and desire of tourists as it reflects the motivation of travel to a particular destination for fulfillment of their internal desire. Type of motivations. Motivations can be classified into categories. Intrinsic motivations. It refers to the individual's stimuli which comes from inside to the core of the heart or mind of an individual for performing a specific task. It is defined the performing of an activity for instinctive motivation that emerges from an individual's inherent satisfactions, enjoyment, challenges and thrills, interest or the feeling of an inner pleasure that derives from the task rather than from some external process or rewards or any separable consequences. Intrinsic motivations that does not include those activities that are not done for the sake of an external rewards. Extrinsic motivation. It refers to individual stimuli which comes from outside attractions. It is defined as activity intrinsically motivated in order to attain or to receive something from other or some separable outcome. It involves executing an actions influenced by the outer stimuli to attain an external reinforcement or rewards from others such as money, praise, status, etc. Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Motivation is driving forces within individuals to exert efforts toward the attempt or accomplishment of the goal. Maslow feels that individual must fulfill the needs at a lower level to further motivate it at the next level. In 1943, Abraham Maslow proposed a theory named by need hierarchy theory of motivations. As per his theory of human desire will sequentially follow the 5 stages of needs and after that needs end. Needs has been arranged in such a way of hierarchy starting from the lowest needs physiological to safety, love, esteem and finally self-actualization. Physiological. The need for survival is most basic need for individuals, that is food, water and shelter, including hunger, thirst, sex and other physiological needs. Safety. Safety is the feeling of an individual to get when they are physically, mentally or emotionally secure or have low fears of and anxiety. Social. After having satisfied with their physiological and safety needs, individual needs or seeks for love and belongings including affections, acceptance and friendships. These needs can only be met through satisfactory relationship or acceptance by others such as with family members, friends, classmates and other people. Esteem. After being satisfactorily meet these lower needs, individual being to develop positive outlook of the self-worth and self-esteem. The individual feel pride in their work and self. Esteem is classified as internal esteem, as self-respect, autonomy and achievement. External esteem as status, recognition and attention. Self-actualization. It is to realize and nurture talents into the full potential and capacities, or the drive to become what an individual is capable of being. Travel motivation. Motivation is the intrinsic property of a human being that arises from the inside or of psychological origin. Tourism is an activity that is driven by the motivational forces, that is a combination of internal and external forces. Travel satisfies both lower and higher level of needs such as physiological need, psychological or biological needs that are directly in individual's behavior and activity. It tells a tourist attempts to satisfy the recognized need and strongly influence decision made by tourists in every steps of decisions. Various theories have been developed to reveal the most important questions: why travel by the people. The answer is the question is influenced by the nature of the travel motives. Travel motivation theory. The tourist selecting to travel for businesses, leisure or for other reasons depends on motivation to visit destinations. There are some common factors influencing tourist travel decisions such as availability of free time, disposable income, age and status, attractiveness of destinations. Gray's travel motivation theory. Gray explains the motivation of an individual to go natural settings and given to motives of travel. Wanderlust. Wanderlust. It describes the motives or the desire to go from unknown to unknown places. It is traveling from or leaving a familiar place to go and see different or unfamiliar places. It is about going to different destinations to experience monumental, sociological, culture, heritage. Second, sunlust. It is a type of travel to a destinations that can provide the tourist with specific facilities or better amenities. It is traveling for a particular purpose or facilities that are not available in the place of residence of the tourist. McIntosh and Goldner. Categorization of travel motivations. McIntosh has stated that basic travel motivators may be grouped into four broad categories. Physical motivators. These type of motivations are concerned with the individual physical health and well-being. Involves physical relaxations and rest, sporting activities, medical care or treatment and specific remedial health management. It includes physical motivators that are concerned with health, from recreation to attending yoga camp to medical treatment or for upkeep of health. Interpersonal motivators. Human as we know are social animals, always keen to make new friends, have a desire to visit and meet relatives and friends, or simply want to escape from the daily hassles of everyday life. These types of motivators are termed as interpersonal motivators. Cultural motivators. Cultural motivators are described as curiosity that tourists have and want to experience in different people's culture and lifestyle. These are related to tourists' desire to travel to different destinations in order to know about the other countries, people, their culture, traditions, lifestyles, art, music and so on. Status and prestige motivators. Tourists travel to secure a respect among their friends or in family and recognition of educations and knowledge, or for pursuit of hobbies. These type of motivators are identified with the need for the fame and status, or for personal esteem and personal development. It also includes travel for business or professional interests. Anomie and ego enhancement motivation theory. Dan investigates two push factors and proposes that motivational factors can be grouped into anomie and ego enhancement. Anomie. Anomie refers to the need and desire to arise above the feeling of loneliness and a quarantine inherent in everybody life and get away from the daily hassles. It is associated with search for the life's meaning and interactions with family and friends and social communications. The enemy tourists are mainly young, married, male, mostly repeated visitors. They are from urban and rural areas and are above the age of socioeconomic status. Ego enhancement. Ego enhancement tourists are the opposite end of the spectrum. It derives from the desire and need of the recognition. The individual's desire and need for the social recognition is mainly associated with it and is achieved through the status or ego enhancement conferred by the travel. Ego enhancement tourists are likely to be most probably female, married one, and single, mostly first time visitors. They are older than economic tourists and typically form lower socioeconomic groups. Dan argued that push factors is logical and often inherent to pull factors. The question is that what makes tourists travel can only be recognized through the push factors. As a tourist to take two different difficult decisions at two diverse times, that is whether to go and where to go. Push and pull theory. Crompton identifies two different levels of psychological motivation, psychological motivation. The first level of motivation is the desire to travel that drives the initial decision for a trip or vacations. It subsequently facilitates individuals' decisions for destinations. The second level of motivation drives the decision of selection of destinations. After initial decision of making a trip, various motivation factors comes into being that impact the selection of a destination. Crompton proposes two groups of motives among the pleasant vacationer, one that pushes for a trip or tour are socio-psychological motives, while other factors that pulls are the cultural motives. Push factors. Push factors are defined intrinsic drives or desire that motivates people to travel. Push factors are initiating travel desire of an individual to engage in recreational activities of tourism. It is its essential motive, internal motive that drives tourists to seek activities for their needs for fulfillment. It is the internal psychological imbalance that pushes or focuses the individuals to search for optimal level of motivation to travel. Some push factors of traveling are exploration and evaluation of self, escape from perceived mundane environment, health and fitness, re-experiencing family, facilitating of social interactions, enhancement of kinship, relationship, nobility, cultural experience, education, prestige. Pull factor. Pull factors are extrinsic motivations that pulls an individual towards the product, offering of the destinations and destination itself. Pull factors appears due to the attractiveness and attributes associated with the destinations. It is related to the external conditions, cognitive aspects or choice available on the destinations such as attractions, climate, culture, etc. Pull factors are usually destination specific. It is the destination settings or characteristics itself that attracts several tourists. Pull factors are more identifiable and can be compared between destinations according to the knowledge and information that tourists gather about a destinations. Every tourist or an individual is motivated for its own unique reason for the nature of the experience to unique geographical factors that governs travel decisions. Identifying a set of pull factors that can be applicable to all sites is possible as different destinations has different or unique set of pull factors. Pull factors were characterized by facilities, core attractions and landscape features. The facilities factors encompasses all tourism facilities of destinations including fooding, lodging, roads, hospitality and security. The core attractions factors includes all those activities and services available for tourism. It includes sports activities, nightlife, entertainment and amusement, and shopping facilities. The landscape features pull factors strongly related to the geographical and socio-cultural features of destinations, that is, natural and cultural environment of a destination. Escaping and seeking motivation of Manel and Iso-Ahol. Manel and Iso-Ahol define the motivations in socio-psychological perspective, a two-dimensional model of tourist motivations where both the forces simultaneously influence a tourist behavior. The theory consists of both personal and interpersonal escape and seeking motives together. An individual perceives that satisfaction can be felt from leisure-related activities for two major reasons. Escaping, first, the desire to get out from the monotonous environment of work. Next, seeking, an aspiration to get intrinsic psychological rewards from other or self through traveling. Tourists are motivated for leisure or tourism-related activities in order to get away from their personal and or interpersonal problems of the day-to-day hustles and bustles of life, and get personal or interpersonal rewards from the passive and active tourism activities. Personal rewards are more about individual satisfactions, includes explorations and relaxation, learning, challenges, a sense of competence, etc. Interpersonal rewards are arising from social interactions with family and friends or with other people in destinations. Intrinsic reward arises from the activities that provide certain feelings, such as feeling of mastery and escape from monotonous environment. TCL, that is Travel Career Ladder. Travel Career Ladder approach was proposed by Pierce. The approach is based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory of motivations. Following Maslow's theory, the proposed model sees the needs of travelers is organized into hierarchy or ladder model. Biological needs includes relaxation at foundation level, followed by safety needs and relationship needs, and in line self-esteem and development needs and fulfillment needs at the highest level. The model identifies 5 steps of hierarchy affecting tourist behavior. It suggests that a group of needs in a ladder steps or level of can be dominated by a particular time, but travel motivations of tourists may be derived from the different level of ladder. It emphasizes all the motives for traveling of a tourist rather than a single motive. TCL proposes that every individual or a tourist headway upward through the hierarchy level with accumulated travel experience and psychological maturity. This shows that travel motivations changes as a tourist acquires experience in tourism development and dynamic motivations process. An individual can be descendant or ascendant on the ladder as the direction of the change in the level may vary with the experience. Some individuals may undergo everyday steps or level or either side of the model, or may be ascendant on the ladder or one side of the schema. Each individuals every time do not seek similar type of experience or fulfillment from the travel. For example, for say first time visitors may be more cautious for safety and security than repeat visitor due to the more knowledge and experience about the destinations or of the trip. TCP, that is Travel Career Pattern. The TCP model is modification of earlier TCL model, that is Travel Career Ladder approach. The TCP emphasizes on motivation patterns of tourists over their life cycle because of the different motivations and its impact on their traveling experiences. Travel experience plays a driver role for the changing travel motivations, which has crucial part in TCP model. Travel experience is the collective changes in the individual's perspective about self and environment due to the tourism activities and events that individual passes through, and of course traveling. Pierce suggested 3 layers of travel motivations. Layer 1, It is the core of TCP and includes common motives such as escape, relaxation, health and fitness, social interactions, and so on. Layer 2, it comprises series of moderately important motivators that surround core layer of motivations. It relates to the self-actualization and interaction of engaged with the host of society and environment. Layer 3, the outer layer of model embraces motives with lesser importance such as social status and nostalgia. Summary: tourism is a people-centric and one of the fastest growing industries. Accessing behavior and motivation of tourists is a crucial task as travel decision of tourists depends on it. There has always been some forces behind travel decision. It is some type of motivations that impulses people from movement from one place to another. A motive is anything which prompts the persons to act in a certain way or to develop an inclination for a specific behavior. Motive can be defined as the inner state of our mind that activate and directs human to act particularly. It is an instinct to us and exhibits by our external behavior. Travel safety both lower and higher levels of needs such as physiological, psychological or biological needs that direct individual behavior and activities. It is the willingness and desire to do a particular activity. It includes travel to the visit friends and relatives, health and religious travel. With this, I would like to conclude this presentation. Thank you.